in Pasadena, and it actually made my daughter's mother was quoted in the LA Times about proms in the area and how they were handled because schools kind of stepped back from them, so parents kind of took over. So there's a variety of venues and places that proms were held at, and kids had a great time.
That's great. Morning, JP and Linda and Chris Detweiler.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, JP.
Hi.
Stephanie.
How are you?
Great to see
Good,
you.
how are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
JP, few more weeks.
2 more weeks, yes. I know.
Hey, my friend's Joe Contaneri's friend, dad has a car. It's an old Barrister. I saw it at a restaurant and we left a note on it. But is it so can he wanted to get information about entering it?
Okay.
Okay, that's
Sure.
just, he can go to the Motor Classic website and there's information there for people who want to, exhibit the car.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it still, do they still have time, Stephanie?
Yeah, they still have some time, but
Okay. So
Great.
just go to the Motor Classic website.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm really excited. I talked with the people at the Los Angeles Auto Show. That's the big auto show at the convention center. It's going to be in November. And so they're willing to do some cross marketing with us. And so it's going to be very good for I think for the Motor Classic. They have a contact list of about 350,000 people.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's great.
That's great.
So
We have to mention that a little later, Stephanie, if that's
well,
okay.
yeah, I think what we want to do is just, to remind everybody what we need to do now really is sell tickets.
Right.
Because I think the sponsorships and the entrants are coming along really well. And so we just need to get all of San Marino out to go to the show.
Okay.
I saw Tony, but I think he's gone now.
Who's that?
Tony Galaviz.
Yeah, I saw him too. Maybe he'll come back. There he is.
Ah.
Hello, Dennis and
How are you?
Daryl and Tony. Good to
Hi,
see you.
there, Tony. Hey, how are we doing?
Ryan. How are you, Brian?
All right, how are you today?
Doing good. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Denise. Hi, Denise. I know your audio wasn't on.
How are
Are
you?
you in school?
I'm in my classroom. I'm digging out. It's a train wreck in
Oh.
here. I'm having the best time.
So you're just cleaning out?
Yes, it's called Find Same. And so it's like a mini Michael's story in my classroom. I have 38 projects already planned for my interactors.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Yeah. I don't know how many we'll get to, but chance favors the prepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rose, I'm having problems.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Good to see you, Jennifer.
Hi,
How are you?
good, doing well, thank you.
Hear nobody. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you,
Yes.
Tony. Can you hear us? I don't think you can hear us.
Let me send him a chat.
Okay. Hello, Nicole.
Oh, it says he's not.
Hi, Aaron. Hello, everybody. I'm going to be driving, so you won't see my face.
Hi,
Okay.
Nicole.
Who is that? Isaac?
That was JP. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, JP. How are you?
I'm
You look
good, thank you.
great.
Oh, thank you.
Is that your wedding photo, Nicole?
Oh, don't tell to my husband because he hates that I put it up. But yes, it
Oh,
is.
wow.
That was 33, 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we're newlyweds.
There you go.
Thank you.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Erin. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Happy summer.
Yeah, happy summer. That's right.
I took my Chinese final yesterday.
Okay.
Or I guess on Tuesday. I'm like, woo, it's summer.
So are you, what level are you at in with
One.
is Mandarin? What
Yeah.
level 1? Okay.
There's level 1.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all online.
Wow.
Oh,
Me
wow.
too, Mary. So you're taking it at PCC?
Yes.
Yeah. Who is your instructor? Dr. Wu?
Yeah. No, La
Dr.
Wei.
Wei?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just took Chinese too. Oh my God, that was grueling. I just did my finals.
Is level 1 reading or speaking or both?
Both. Yes.
Oh, geez.
The
Wow.
hard part for me is, Linda, I don't know about you. I have no, my ability to read the characters is really bad, but I can't come up with a character. I can read the character, but I can't come up with it. So I can come up with the pinyin, which uses
Yeah, the pinging is
uses
easy.
our alphabet. So I can come up with
Right,
like, okay, PING means bottle, ping, but
You know, Mary, you have to write it all the time. You have to write for an hour every day. It's
Wow.
just crazy.
Oh, wow.
so I guess in the fall, you're back on campus, which
Yes, it's a
means
big
for-
debate. We're going to be talking about it at the board, I'm sure.
please keep Chinese 2 online.
Well, we were hoping to do that, but you know, what happened was that the professors didn't know how virtual was going to work out, and they didn't apply for it early. So now they have to go appeal to put things
man.
back online. But yeah, but we're meeting on the board. I think at least 50, I think we'll have a number of classes that'll still be online.
Right, because at least for my way of being able to deal with the Chinese characters is that you can, for everybody else, you can put onto your computer so that you can type in pinyin and then it suggests the character to you. So when I see the character, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the right one. But if I had to pull it out of my head, like it would literally be a rabbit out of a hat. So
I'm in the same boat. Yeah, if you were in class, you would have to write it by memory. You would have no notes in front of you.
oh man, no way. So I hope they can, please let them be online.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that too, Mary. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Tony, can you hear us? I
sent a text.
Yeah, he just sent me a private chat saying that his audio is not working. We can hear him. Good morning, Rob and John Donovan, Sean Chow. Good to see you. How are you?
Doing good. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
When I try to send Tony a chat, it says he's not in the meeting.
I'm good now.
There you go.
I can hear you guys if you guys can hear me.
All right.
Okay.
Hi, Devin.
Hi.
This is my first time doing a presentation using the PowerPoint, so I may need a little assistance on how to share a screen and.
Okay. Do you know how to do that, Tony?
I literally put my first PowerPoint presentation together 2 hours ago.
Okay.
I got it done, but as far as like sharing the screen, I may need a little assistance. So if there's a couple of hiccups here or there, I would appreciate any.
Okay.
It'll be easier the next time you do a PowerPoint, I promise.
I love your positivity.
Hi, Shodi.
Just be careful what you share. You don't want to make any mistakes.
That's right, John.
This is how stuff gets on the news.
Stuff gets on the news.
That's how good TV screen plays are written, right?
Yeah.
How are you, Shodi?
How are you, Aaron?
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Look at that view. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice view.
We'll get started in about a minute.
Devin, how is opening up the Y?
Good. We're actually getting ready to open the pool on January 20 or January. That's where my brain's at. June 21st.
Do you have Zumba courses there?
We're working actually on adding one of those hopefully next month.
Great.
So we've got a handful of classes right now, and each month as we have more members, we plan on adding in more classes. So we should have that soon.
Wonderful.
I'll keep you posted, Molly.
Thank you, Kevin.
Devin, do you still have Model UN?
We do. Yeah, that's going to be kicking off later this year.
I have really good news for you. One of our wonderful substitute teachers is teaching Model UN for the second 3-week period here at HMS. So I'll send you her email because that would be a great way to start your program, or maybe come down and have someone from the Y present to them as well. So Summer Sparkus, I'll send that to you in chat. She's a fabulous teacher.
That would be great because last year being so virtual, you know, we're kind of building back. So that would be wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. Hello, Jesse and Lois and Wayne. Welcome.
How are you?
Good. All right, everyone. We are going to get started. As we remember that June is Rotary Fellowship Month in the Rotary world, I call the June 10th, 2021 meeting of the Rotary Club of San Marino to order. We are truly a club that
makes
a difference. Such enthusiasm, I love it. Okay, please stand and join me in reciting the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
is it
the truth? Second,
is it fair
to all concerned? Third, build goodwill and better friendships. Fourth, beneficial to all concerned. Thank you. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation led today by Molly Woodford.
Put your hands on your heart. I pledge
allegiance to the flag
of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whenever you're ready, Mom.
Okay. If you would bow your heads. Oh, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for our fellowship and camaraderie in this Rotary organization. Thank you for helping us serve people in need while loving one another in these uncertain and somewhat trying times. Remind us to keep love in the forefront of our minds. Help us to imagine being together again soon and reaching out even more to others. You have taught us to love and serve, so please allow us to keep our minds focused on service as we move outside of the pandemic world. Please let us remember those who are not so fortunate as we, and let us continue moving from a state of divisive behaviors to a state of peace and harmony. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Molly. All right. I don't see any guests. We do have one guest who we are inducting today, Jennifer Wee. Welcome to Rotary, Jennifer. Okay, pandemic polio pig. Everyone raise their envelopes and their contributions. Thank you. We see Molly and John and Stephanie and Lois and Mary. Thank you so much. All right, so what we're gonna do with this, these contributions will roll over into next year, right, John? So when the time comes, to meet, we can just bring our cash and roll into JP's year.
Next year.
Yes, awesome. Okay. All right, birthdays. Celebrating a birthday tomorrow, June 11th, is Alana Foray. And then celebrating 61 years of marriage tomorrow to her husband, Philip, is Lois Matthews. Everyone please give Lois a round of applause.
Hey, all right.
Congratulations, Lois. Okay. All right. Let's see, we're moving on to announcements. And the first announcement is actually some very sad news if you haven't heard already. Graciela Almanza has passed last week, Bob Almanza's wife. We all know her from you know, she used to attend Rotary on the Town faithfully with Bob Almanza. And, you know, they were married for quite a big, long time. I know that Bob met her in Italy and they fell in love and, you know, they moved over here. So we send our prayers and our best to Bob, who we miss dearly as well. And, you know, send our prayers for Graziella. So just wanted to report that. Catherine Olivero states that in an effort to give our 2020 graduates back some of what they lost during the pandemic, grad night for 2020 for last year, Finding Nemo will be happening reunion style on Friday, July 2nd. So she states, we cannot make this a safe and fun night for our graduates without a lot of help from our parents and community. We hope you will consider signing up for a staffing slot or two. We just went through the 2021 grad night in May 28th, and it was a very fun night for both the seniors and the volunteers. So I'm going to post the link, the sign up link in the chat. And if you can make it on that night and help out, they would greatly appreciate it. So there's the link. Okay. Let's see. Moving on, the survey, did everyone receive that survey via email about returning back to Rotary? Okay, if you haven't completed it, please complete it. And I think we might be sending it out one more time. And if you've already completed it, don't worry, please don't answer again. But we'd like to get some more responses in time for our board meeting next week. Those responses are crucial for allowing the board and JP and everyone to make a decision moving forward if we're going to meet in person. So if you haven't responded, please ensure to respond. Your feedback is very, very needed. Thank you so much. Troop 351, they're hosting a court of honor from 4 to 6 p.m. this Saturday, June 12th. The Scouts will be honoring 2 or 3 new Eagles from Troop 351 boys, as well as rank advancements for other ranks for both troops. So that will be held at the Hill Harbison House this Saturday, June 12th. They would like folks to RSVP, and I'm gonna post an email in the chat. If you can please, if those of you who wanna attend, please send an email to RSVP. They'd like folks to RSVP by no later than tonight. So I'm gonna post it in the chat here. There we go. There's the email address if you'd like to attend. Okay, Motor Classic. I'm going to share my screen. We're still in need of help of selling tickets. And so as we know, the tickets are $30 per person. So if we can have every Rotarian help with selling tickets, that would be a huge, tremendous help for us. The more that we sell, the better that Rotary looks, and more hopefully that more people attend and better turnouts and more money for next year Rotary year. And Stephanie, do we still need help with ads and vendor booths? Stephanie, are you there? Oh, you're on mute. Stephanie, you're on mute.
Yes, if you know of people who, vendors who would like to have a booth at the show or place an ad in the program, there's still time to do that. So that would be helpful as well. And again, just to reiterate what Aaron had said, that our focus now is really on selling tickets. So we want to, try and sell as many as we can, especially within the city of San Marino, the residents here. We'd like to make this event a real community event, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So we appreciate all the help that you guys can give us.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, Mary.
Stephanie, do you have an email template that we could then cut and paste and send to our Rolodex?
Sure, I can make one and do that, and I guess I'll make it, and then Aaron can send it to everyone.
Sure.
I can't do
Sure.
that, but that would make it easy. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah. Great. I think one of our biggest strengths in our club is our network. So each of us can have, talk to someone, a business, a service, and basically ask, if they'd like to purchase an ad or get a booth, I think we can do very well. I think we'll be successful. So, all right. Any other questions on the Motor Classic? Great. All right. I see Gilda's on now, and we are going to induct a new member, and I'll hand it over to Gilda.
Thank you, Aaron. So it is my pleasure to induct one more member before Aaron leaves office and JP takes over. So we are excited to induct Jennifer Wee. Jennifer, I see you. Welcome. Jennifer has visited with us for several weeks. She is a familiar face to many. I know she came to the wine event as well. So she is here today with her daughter, Rachel Toe. Is Rachel here, Jennifer? Oh, there she is. Okay. All right. Hi, Rachel. All right. So just a little bit about Jennifer. So Jennifer is actually being sponsored by Aaron Gill and Sean Chow. Sean and Jennifer go back through their involvement at the Chinese Club. And Jennifer is a resident of San Marino. She works as a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway, and she has children in our schools and has been involved with the Kroll Library as well as the Chinese Club. And we welcome her today. And now I'm going to let Aaron do the formal induction. Jennifer, when we meet on June 24th, I hope you plan to be there when Aaron is going to get roasted. When we meet in person, you will get a pin and you will get your badge and all that good stuff that comes with it. So really now I'll let Aaron do the formal induction.
Thank you, Gilda. Thank you, Jennifer. Hello, Rachel. Okay, Rachel, you are about to become a member of Rotary, but what does that really mean? It means you will feed hungry people of every race, creed, and political philosophy. You will build houses in which you will never live. You will dig wells for which you will never drink. You will turn crawlers into walkers. You will educate and vaccinate children you will never know. You will restore eyesight to those who will never see you. You will plant trees under which you will never sit. If you do those things, not only will you be in Rotary, but you will also have Rotary in you. Fellowship is another cornerstone of Rotary, and it is one of our responsibilities of membership to be present at our weekly meetings where you will enjoy the camaraderie that attendance provides. If you miss one of our meetings, we encourage you to make up at any Rotary Club in the world where you will be warmly welcome. In addition, it is our responsibility to participate in local community service projects where you will help others and where you'll grow as well. Finally, every member is asked to help bring in new members by inviting guests to our meetings or by having them participate in club projects. If you are prepared to accept these responsibilities of membership and to commit yourself to the objects of Rotary and to the ideals of the four-way test, please say, I will.
I will.
Thank you. San Marino Rotarians, if I can ask if you can unmute yourself for this next portion. San Marino Rotarians, please stand. If you are prepared to extend a hand of fellowship to Jennifer, to welcome her into our club and to guide her in the ways of Rotary, please say, we will.
We will.
We will. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our newest member of San Marino Rotary, Jennifer Wee. Welcome to our club, Jennifer.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's my honor.
Thank you. All right. Is that it, Gilda?
Yes, sir. We cannot wait until we meet in person. You will get a plaque, you'll get a pin, you'll get a badge, and we'll schedule your orientation as well. Thank you, Jennifer. Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Welcome, Jennifer. Okay, let's move on. Okay, our speakers for next week are Sean Diaz and Daisy Wilson, providing us with an update on the San Marino Little League. Thank you to Maurice Saldivar and Programs Committee for putting that together for us. And at this time, we are going to move on to Craft Talks, and I will hand it over to Molly. Molly?
Thank you, Aaron. Well, first up, I'd like to introduce Daryl Topalian. He is principal at Huntington Middle School. He was born and raised in the San Gabriel Valley. He received his Bachelor of Arts degree in Biblical Studies from the Master's College, but then went on and received his Master's of Arts in School Counseling from Azusa Pacific University, and then came back to graduate school for another master's degree in school administration from Point Loma Nazarene University. Daryl has 4 children, and when he gets married on June 19th to Monica Gracely, he will become a stepdad to her daughter. He's a vintage Volkswagen enthusiast, and I can't wait for him to share many other great pieces of information with us now. Thank you, Daryl.
All right. So is that my time?
15 minutes. What?
All right. So I'm gonna, if it's okay, if I can share my screen, and then I'll share just like my craft talk, kind of a slideshow I put together just to take pictures, do a great job.
You got it.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my desktop with all of you. And then you can, and maybe some of you can help me answer my 45,000 emails. That would be great. So that's me, and I am excited that, to be the principal here at Huntington Middle School, the beautiful city of San Marino. This is I just finished my first year as principal. The year before that, I was assistant principal to Miss Alana Foray, who is now our principal at Valentine, who's a very experienced educator here in the San Marino Unified. Ms. Foray is, and so I've been really honored last year to be principal here. Definitely a challenge with COVID, definitely a challenge going to the rookie season. No matter how many years of experience I think you have in education, going into this was just completely new for all of us, and especially me as principal here at Huntington. So I was delighted by the support of my staff and especially the community. So let's kick this off. So here we go. So that's me. I go with Sempre Avanti, which is, even though I'm Armenian, that's an Italian phrase. It means moving forever forward. And I like to move forever forward with my family, with my friends. Love to have fun. Once you guys get to know me, I love food and I love fellowship. And if you can combine all those together, food, family, fun, and fellowship, man, that's a good time. So, and that I do enjoy. So I'm 49 years old and I'm still standing. And so I think every day that we get to appreciate. Just completed my 26th year in education. My 12 circles of F&F. My F&F is my family and my friends. I really believe in tight-knit groups of people. So, and I'll share who those 12 important people are. I think it's important. I think Molly did share. I know she did. My love for Volkswagens. I grew up in an air-cooled family with Harleys and Volkswagens, and so that's important to me. And my 2 dogs, Machi and Alaska. So by the way, I know my kids aren't on there. They're part of my 12, by the way. So I just want to throw that in there. So there's some important people. Over there on my left is my dad. My dad is 82 years old. He's first generation Armenian here in the States. And so I helped take care of my father. And I moved in with him about a few years ago when he took a fall. And so he's my best friend. He's my right hand. He's also the best man at my wedding coming up. So important man in my life. Great wisdom, full of philosophy, full of heart, full of soul. He's a man you want to sit around and listen to a story, and he'll tell you life experiences. So, and then he's also into Coleman lanterns like me. And so that's what we're holding, is a Coleman lantern that a buddy of mine created with little Volkswagens inside of it. In the middle, you see my 4 children. In the middle is my son. He says at NYU, he's holding the folder. He's a freshman at NYU going to Tisch. He's 20 years old. On the far left is my daughter. Her name is Taya. She's 22. She's finishing up at PCC, studying to be a nurse. In the middle right there, kind of more with the black sweatshirt, that's Josiah. Believe it or not, that kid is 16 years old, and he's a sophomore he just completed sophomore, going to be a junior at Maranatha High School. And in the back is my 18-year-old son, that's Trayton, who is going to be doing his senior year in Reading, England. He got picked up by the soccer club there. We are a football family, soccer football, not the American football, the real football. They play with your feet. And so he has followed his father's footsteps, and he is going off to Reading, England, to go to the academy out there to play for Reading, and then to finish his senior year in schooling out there. So super proud of all my kids, and then what a blessing they are. In the bottom left, as you see, by the fire pit, that'll be my new extended family, as far as with my fiance who's on my lap. That's Monica. Just above her is her daughter, Mia, who will be off to Tulane University. She just graduated from Maranatha High School, will be heading to Tulane in August as a freshman. And then her mother, and then above me is her brother, Leo. And then her mom and her other daughter, Katrina, who's just finishing her senior year at UC Davis. In the far right, up there in the corner, you see the people around the table. That was just after me on January 2nd, proposing to Monica, surprising her. Is my close group of friends. Several of them are educators and close family friends that I've grown up with, and doctors, and my own physician is one of my closest and dearest friends. He's in there. He's Dr. Ren Brown. He's wearing the hat, Lawton Gray, the black gentleman. He was a principal I worked with for 14 years at Oak Avenue in Temple City. Larry and Lynn, who are like my second parents. And so they're just fabulous groups of people that are really, really close to me. And the bottom is my beautiful fiance, Monica, and she's half Taiwanese. So I heard some of you speaking about understanding the language of Chinese. She speaks 4, so it's crazy. She speaks Taiwanese, Mandarin, Japanese, and English. And the tonal stuff just drives me crazy because I can't even understand it. I try to say something silly or just try to be honest, and it doesn't work out as well. So I hear you when it comes to speakings and tones and reading, and she does an amazing job with all of that. So here are my other things, my joys that kind of help me breathe, and this is my therapy right here. So one is more therapeutic than the other. One car I own and one car owns me. And I guess I'll let you decide which car owns me and the other one that I own. When I say a car owns you, that means you just kind of, your blood pressure goes in when you're around it. You kind of watch who's going to touch it. And you just kind of really, it's the show car. And that's the beige Beetle right there. That car, that very car belonged to my parents. That was the first car they bought in 1968 on June 3rd. So it just celebrated its 52nd birthday, I believe. Is that right in my math? 52nd or 53rd birthday. Yeah, they bought that car June 3rd of 1968. My dad paid $2,100 for that car. And so, and he put $1,240 down and 92 cents. He financed that car for 36 months at $28 a month. So where do you get that? So that's the bill of sale. I have the promissory note when he financed it. That was just at a recent show in Huntington Beach at Old World Village. It was a show called Rare Vintage Air, and it's all rare vintage air-cooled cars. And that car won best of stock in its class. And that car, that very car will be at the San Marino Motor Classic, believe it or not. So looking forward to seeing you guys there. The other car I own, it doesn't own me. That's my bus. That's my fun and joy taken about. You might see it here on campus. That's the car it's makes me smile. It makes people smile. I take it surfing. I take it mountain biking. I take it camping. It's my therapy. They're both therapeutic in their own ways. One's more nostalgic than the other. But I grew up on a 71 bay window bus as well. And that's as close as I can get to that 70 bay. I've had that bus for about 5 years, and it's just been a project of restoration. The 68 we've had for a while. I learned to drive in that Savannah beige bugs on the streets of San Marino, from Lacey Park to Lorraine Road up by Huntington Library. So that car is a very local car to this community, purchased in Alhambra. I'm a big fan of going down to Long Beach and paddleboarding and surfing. And I don't know if you're familiar, have been down to the Naples, the channels down there, just a beautiful place to walk. So that's just kind of, if I'm not around on campus or you want to find me on the weekend, try not to look for me, but I'm usually out there paddleboarding around and enjoying the beautiful areas of Long Beach. I'm also an avid mountain biker, and that's just the use of my bus. That's where I say you kind of own it and you use it. I'm a believer in don't hide them, drive them. So that's kind of my philosophy. So just a little bit about the world of Topalian outside of Huntington Middle School. I also enjoy a good box of donuts, a good bottle of wine, and some good food. So Rose's Donuts, if it's my little plug, we're in Temple City, family owned and operated. over in Temple City in Longden, over by Little Caesar's Pizza. They had the best donuts, and so I bought that box of donuts in to my office staff in here over the summer break. I'm a huge fan of Austin Hope Winery up in Paso. I'm a member and part of their wine club, and yeah, so I love their wine. And then that's a piece of that's avocado toast that cost me $25 when I was visiting my son in New York, and it was absolutely delicious. But I love good food, and so anytime a meal is involved with family, I'm all about it. So I love taking photography. These are some pictures I took when I was in New York visiting my son. One, believe it or not, the one on the left with the gentleman on the bike, the city bike, I took out of the taxi cab coming home from New York when I was visiting my son. It was one of the last pictures I took out of the taxi cab. And then I just filtered it a little bit, and I have a large print of that in my home. And so it just reminds me of the people there and about culture and about the amazing people that I got to meet in New York when I was with my son, and just then the little Chinatown there. And then when you're in New York, no matter where you go, you always got to have a street hot dog, because in case you don't have a tummy ache and you need one, these are the places that will either clean you out or make you feel full. So I'll let you decide one or the other. And then I'm always about nature and being outside. And so I just want to thank everyone for their time. I want you to enjoy the moments given to you and maximize the time in the present moment. And so these are two other pictures I took in the beautiful areas of Central Park. Actually, that's Central Park, with the big picture with the lake right there. And the other one is Washington Square. And you can see that the monument in the background right outside of where my son's dorm is at NYU. So that's a little bit about me and my craft talk. And as I always finish with my staff and with my salutations at the end of my signature with my emails, whether it's personal or whether it's school, is Sempre Avante, which means forever forward. And I want to encourage all of you with that. So thank you for your time. And I really appreciate the fact of being part of Rotary and San Marino. I look forward to finally, hopefully meeting you all in person, and that we all have feet. I know we stand up for flag shoots and something, but every time we're in a box, we just see our waist up. So I'm looking forward to seeing people standing. So, all right. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Daryl. I bet that 1972 Volkswagen is worth way more today.
Yeah, the 68. Yeah, they're both way more today than when we purchased them when my parents did. Yes, and especially my parents' car, because it is original owner. It's worth quite a bit, and I have all the documentation on it, so which makes it really special. So
wonderful.
But yeah, thank you for asking. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
I know we all enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about Daryl, and now we're going to learn a little bit more about Tony Galaviz. Tony is the manager/owner of his own plumbing shop. But after graduating from school, he spent many years working with nonprofit organizations that dealing with social and environmental issues. And he also was working with at-risk youth from the Los Angeles area. Tony worked with organizations such as the California Conservation Corps, Los Angeles Conservation Corps, and AmeriCorps. He is going to tell you about living in tents and more. Ultimately, he returned to Southern California and joined the Plumbers Union and worked his way from an apprentice to the general manager of his own plumbing store. So Tony, we're looking forward to hearing you. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody. I'm going to just give me a second to try to share figure out how to share my screen. I believe I just pushed the green button and then hopefully drag down this top one. All right. Again, my name is Tony. Daryl, good job. I actually built bugs. Those were my first cars. My stepdad made me get a 65 bug out of the junkyard and build it from the ground up. I could pull out an engine in like 30 minutes. I love bugs.
4 bolts. It's 4 bolts.
Exactly. Anyway, so I am from East LA. My family from City Terrace. I am an only child from a single mom. She was the daughter of 6. And she was the youngest, so she moved me out of East LA as soon as she could. Her family has a checkered past, if you would say. So I moved to Rancho Cucamonga, did all my schooling there. Played football, wrestled, and played baseball in high school. Wasn't really much for school, just enough to keep my grades up to play sports, because I loved playing sports. After school, I tried school a little bit, didn't really suit my needs. So I went into construction, and I liked that. Got a hold of some friends, and 6 of them to be exact, and they said, we're going to move up north. And I said, okay, well, for what? And it's like, I don't know, just to go. So I went, and here's where this starts. A little about myself. I do love food. I am a cheese fanatic, fine cheese. If you want to talk cheese, I'm the one to talk about with. Craft beer is another good thing of mine. And I collect minerals and rocks. I'm a huge fan of gems, minerals, and I have them scattered throughout my office, and my wife hates that I have them all over our living room. So I'm a big fan of those as well. My primary job is a dad. I have 4 kids, 3 are still at home, 2 7 and 1 12. My second job is being a plumber and a general manager of a plumbing company. So let me try to share this a little bit here then, if I can share my screen. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
All right.
What do plumbers never do?
Bite their fingernails.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, so that's me before COVID beard. My kids like it a lot, so I kind of kept it. I'm going to trim it as soon as I can find a good barber again. This is Northern Exposure. So I worked. I moved up to Delaware County and we started working for AmeriCorps program, which was on the Yurok tribe right off the Klamath River. I lived in an apartment overlooking the mouth of the Klamath going into the Pacific Ocean. There, I worked with a literacy program for Indians. So believe it or not, what you probably do, a lot of Indians, adult Indians, don't even know how to read. So I started working with them, doing interpretive trails, and then getting into backcountry, and that's where I really fell in love. So I spent 6 years working national forests all over California, mostly in Yosemite and Trinity Alps up north. I don't know if people are familiar, but that top one with the waterfall, that is the Sierra Mist or the Mist Trail. It's a very popular trail. The steps on that I actually worked on. We pulled the rocks from the quarry across the river. With that, I also was trained on how to survive in the wilderness. On the top right corner is me with my own structure that I built as part of my training. Other parts of it were having to produce a fire from whatever you found around you. And also walking barefooted, blindfolded through the woods, following a drum so that you can feel in the dark and not get lost and know where you're going. That was a pretty exciting time. Family, I worked fires. So top right corner, Ackerson Fire out of Yosemite. The middle picture is called Bald Hills. It's a place in out of Happy Camp that because we suppressed fire, the trees started growing onto the Bald Hills, and so we would go in and cut them down in order to preserve those bald the grass for elk. Other picture is just a really good friend that I'm standing on top of a wall we did in Tahoe. Next picture. These are different trail crews I worked with. So I was a backcountry trail worker for 6 years. I would live in a tent in the middle of nowhere for 6 months out of the year. It wasn't all of that rough. We had a cook, and they would provide us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I would just maintain trails. So after the spring melt of snow, it would wash out huge sections of the trail. And if a hiker would go through those areas, they would get lost. It actually happened to me once. But they would get lost, and then people would get hurt, or bridges would get washed out. But we would hike the trails before the hikers would go through, and they'd just maintain them. And we would just set up camps. And these are some of the crews that I worked with, maintaining trails in Yosemite and Trinity Alps, 6 Rivers, places like those. And then I met my love. I had been together with this woman for 17 years. And she is my best friend, my road dog. She goes everywhere with me. So this is the day we met, or the second day or something like that. I met her on Christmas Eve, and she has never left my side. That's the beginning of when we got married. Just a couple pictures of that. Like again, we have a lot of fun together. Oh, sorry. That's more recent. That's when we first met, and this is kind of recent, so you can see the difference on what family and kids and marriage do to you. That's gray now. And this is where life started getting real. This is my first son when he was born, and everything changed after that. Growing up, these are my three kids that are still at home. The one on the left here, it's Naya. That's my baby girl. The one in the middle is Joey. He's now 13, about to be 13. And the one on the right is Damien. They are my life. I try to spend as much quality time with them as I can. And these are just a couple more pictures of what they really look like now. Me and my son are into RC cars. That's us cracking open a Geo right there on the bottom right-hand corner. Me and my oldest son, we like racing and building RC cars together. It's a blast, just spending time with them. And you'll see in the subsequent pictures on where we live at and the things we do. I don't live in San Marino. Unfortunately, my income doesn't allow for that. So I have to drive a little bit. And since the mountains were my love and spent so much time there, I live in Wrightwood, where it snows, and we have 4 seasons. That's my house, my front door, just a couple pictures of my house. Up there, winters are fantastically fun. We are all in ski groups, snowboarding groups. All 3 of my kids know how to ski or snowboard. We're annual pass holders to the local mountain resort up there. This is our street. These are our neighbors, and everybody comes out before the snowplows come through and ski and sled down the roads before we head off to the resorts. The other thing, summertime's up there, we're members of a country club in Wrightwood. It's not the typical country club you would see down here. Up there, instead of a golf course, we have a Frisbee golf course, and we have a lake. It's a natural lake. They just built that concrete wall to retain more of the water back in the 30s, I think. It's a fissure from the San Andreas Fault is actually what it actually is. It collects water there. But we spent a lot of time there. This place is actually what got me to move up to Wrightwood. A friend of mine lived up there, and he took us there. And literally a month later, me and my wife moved up there. This place just speaks childhood memories. My kids learned to swim in that water, and we go there every single weekend, and sometimes if I get home early enough to spend time there. Sports. This is just recent. There's 2 seasons we just finished. Unfortunately, this year I was not able to head coach, but I was assistant coach, but because of work, I wasn't able to make the photos. We had a hiccup because of the pandemic, everything stopped, but we're back at it. Baseball first. This is about to start, and we're going to go right into jiu-jitsu, which is going to be new. But my oldest son did it, and my youngest son now wants to do it, as well as my daughter. So we're really excited about that. And then also fall ball and hopefully maybe some soccer or the other football, Daryl. And then living in Wrightwood, we have fire. So that's another summertime is kind of a scary time for us because we always have some sort of scare of fires, which is constantly around us. Our town is filled with police officers and cops as their primary residents. So they take care of it well, but it's always an exciting time or nervous time when fire season comes around. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about my wife because she amazes me, but I talked her into becoming a full-time mom. She was a career-driven woman. She wanted to work. So we had our first son, and then I talked her into one more, but we ended up having twins. So now we have 3 at home. We have an older daughter who's not at home, and she's my stepdaughter. But she's already 30, so she's not really around. But my wife is a self-taught photographer. She takes aerial astrophotography as well as portraits of families and things of that nature. But these are all her pictures. She loves taking pictures of the moon, which I think are amazing. And then she likes practicing with my daughter, who I love, that's actually my side yard. And these are just recent pictures that she's taken to, she's been practicing with. So that in a nutshell, that's me. Thank you. That's my boy, my youngest boy when I first became a dad. So in a nutshell, that's me. I didn't really piggyback on career too much. So as Molly said, I did start off 15 years ago after I got done with the conservation course, as far as doing outreach with at-risk youth. I did the backcountry trails. I came back home, started working with at-risk youth at Alley Conservation Corps. Didn't want to do that. I tried to be a teacher. I attempted to go back to school. I got my AA. I wanted to be a teacher, so I was a TA at Coliseum Elementary School. And I picked that one because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to have a cultural difference, and I wanted to be surrounded by some out of my norm in a sense. It was an eye-opening experience, very eye-opening experience. Teaching in school didn't really work out for me again, so I led back to construction and plumbing, and just worked my butt off and started from a shovel. And within a few years, started running my own work. And a few years after that, I was building multi-million-dollar projects, mostly in colleges, hospital work. Did really good at that. Made a lot of money for my company, and I just got a call one day and say, "Listen, you did something that I have no foreman has ever done," and it goes back to cheese. Actually, I did a favor for a high client, and he wasn't there. His wife was there, and I had some guys working in his backyard as a favor to hook up a barbecue. And she was like, "Well, we're going to go on this yacht." And she's like, "I'm just going to go to Trader Joe's and buy some cheese." And my ears perked up. And I'm like, "Cheese? You like cheese?" She's like, "Yeah, Trader Joe's has some nice cheese." And I'm like, I just left it at that. I wanted to surprise her. So I went to my cheesemonger, got her a plate of cheese, and she tried a couple pieces, and she literally started crying. And it turned out that these people that she was going to go on this yacht with were, she was trying to impress. And because of that cheese platter, not only did she impress them, but she got some benefits her way from it. Anyways, the owner of my company came to me and said, because of thinking outside the box, I want you to attempt to run this company. I have no business experience whatsoever. I'm good with my hands, and I always have been, mechanically inclined. And that's where I'm at today. I'm attempting to be a businessman and trying to build relations and to grow a business and live life as the fullest potential. I'm hoping by being involved in Rotary, I could continue that passion I had as being when I was younger to help with youth and to help just community in general. I know going to your meetings in the past before the pandemic, there's a lot of potential there for that. And it's something that I haven't been able to address in a while because of work and life and things of that nature. And this position affords me the opportunity to hopefully continue that with the Rotary Club. That's me in a nutshell. If anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to take them.
Thank you, Tony. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When you said rocks, that you like to collect rocks, are diamonds rocks?
Yeah, they are rock. That's actually my birthstone. It's a gem. Yeah, it is. It is actually a rock.
My birthstone too.
Yeah.
Are there any questions for Aaron? I don't know. Do we have time for questions?
Yeah, we have plenty of time. So the more questions, the merrier. So I see John Donovan has his hand raised.
And Daryl and Tony are both here for questions.
Yes.
Yeah, Daryl and Tony, thanks. Great job, both of you guys. Made me think back about 15 years ago when I gave mine presentation. What a terrible job. But that was a great presentation, both of you guys. So, hey, Tony, can you tell us where your store is?
Yeah, right around the corner of Huntington.
I know I looked it up as you were talking, but someone like me, I didn't know. Mary Maids, right? Is that it?
No, Mary Plumbing.
Mary Plumbing. Okay.
Yeah.
Mary
Right
Plumbing.
right across from Starbucks on the corner of around the corner of Huntington and Sierra Madre or San Marino.
Yeah. Okay.
By the bank and everything, by the fire station, by the city hall.
And what time do you get to work? How's your commute? Tell us about your commute.
That's a sore subject, but I do. It takes me about an hour to get to work, which isn't bad. But getting home sometimes is the tricky part. There is a mountain road that cuts directly through the mountains. That is a guaranteed hour and 45 minutes, no matter what. I can be home in an hour and 13 if I take the 210 going around the 15, but time is varied on that because then traffic hits and things of that nature, and sometimes I have to stay late. But yeah, that's the sacrifice I make for my. I love having my kids being raised up in the mountains.
I'd love to talk to you off after this on a one-off about that. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Hey, that was nerve-wracking too, by the way.
You did good,
I'm literally
Tony.
sweating underneath this shirt right here, guys.
You did good. You did good.
Tony.
Yeah, both of you did good.
And Daryl, I have a question for Daryl. So can you do you ever kick people out of that 12 circle?
The 12 circle.
Yeah, I'm just joking around. Yeah. Yeah, 12 people in your inner circle.
No, I always welcome new people
flexibility
too.
in and out. Can they come in and out? Do you?
It's a forgiving circle. There's a lot of grace involved.
Okay.
None of those people are perfect, and if anybody is, they're not in my circle. A lot of imperfect people, so it's all good. It's all good. So you're allowed in the 12. We can grow the circle. So
yes.
Love your energy, Daryl.
Aaron Maurice had a question, I think.
Okay, I have Mary too. So whoever's first.
I think Mary was first.
Okay, Mary, go ahead.
Mine is a comment to Tony, a possible question. My husband was on the board at LA Conservation Corps probably 15 years ago. And what a fabulous organization. I texted him to see if he could give me a name that I could throw out there to you as the common bond, but what a great group. And he too shares a love of cheese, but that's where I think that's probably where it stops, because the idea of camping and that picture of you in your self-made tent is not where my New York City boy husband would ever want to find himself. But what a great story. So thanks for sharing. And Daryl, my father has a 72 Super Beetle he's the original owner. So
keep it.
Hopefully not soon, but I might be talking to you. But he is 98, so.
I'm more than happy to help you with that. You need to keep that in the family. They're very rare to find those.
Well, I'm not letting anybody touch it, so.
That's good. Good, as you should.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, Maurice, and then Gilda.
Thank you. Just a real quick VW story also, Daryl, and thank you, Tony. That was a beautiful family. And actually our Little League president from San Marino will be speaking next week. There was a lot of challenges from the pandemic that we had to get more than 400 kids up and playing. And Daryl, I had a 1962 VW convertible back in the day when I was cool. And it went away, but it was one of my favorite cars. I wanted to ask you, are you still announcing soccer? I didn't hear you mention it, but I know that when we first met, that was something you were doing, and I thought that was just totally cool. And I think it was for like a semi-pro league that you were. And are you still playing soccer?
Well, I appreciate you bringing up my past. That's why I'm still standing. Yes, I didn't really put that in my presentation. It's just something I do on the side. Yeah. So I announced for the NISA, which is the National Independent Soccer Association. It's a professional league. It's third division. So you have like the MLS, where you have like the Galaxy, LAFC, who have their new stadium now over by USC. And there's a league below that, and there's two leagues. There's NISA and there's the USL League 1 and League 2. So I announced for the United Soccer League as well for a team there, and I announced for NISA for a team as well. I announced for the Southern California Seahorses, and I announced for the LA Force. And then I also announced for FC Gold State, a women's pro team called that competes in the WPSL, which is the Women's Premier Soccer League, which I'm going to tell you is phenomenal to announce for. I mean, the women that have, I mean, I would even say the young ladies, there's 16, 17-year-old girls out there that are phenomenal athletes. It just blows my mind that the physicality and the finesse that it's awesome. I even get excited. You can imagine me with my headphones on announcing the games for these young people. So I announced out a championship stadium, which is in the city of Irvine. It's called Great Balloon Park. I don't know if you've seen when you go down the 5 freeway, kind of deep when you get into the heart of Irvine, and you'll see there's usually this big orange balloon. But there's a stadium in there that seats about 3,500 people. And so because of COVID, we were not really announcing games, but now things have opened up. And so I've been announcing for them. So thank you, Maurice. And no, I'm not playing anymore. I retired my boots at 33 back in 2003. And so now I just watching my kids flourish and doing the things that they do, whether it's in theater or my son going over to Reading, and just being like, Tony, I got to commend you on what you said first. You're first a husband and a father. And I think that's something that we not constantly be reminded of as parents and as men, to be fathers to our children and to be husbands to our wives. And so I commend you on bringing that up. That was a really, really key point. So thank you for doing that. And and just supporting my kids. So.
Thank you, Maurice. Good question.
If we don't do that, then what are we doing for? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day.
What's it all about then?
Right. I do remember real quick just to say that, and to that point, when my son told me that he was going to stop playing sports and he was going to the world of theater, going from his sophomore into his junior year, and he thought I was going to be disappointed being an athlete, growing up this athletic home with his mom and I at the time before we got divorced. And I just said, no, I mean, you got to pursue your dream and where your heart is. And that's hence why he's over at NYU doing what he's doing in film and television. And so I think anytime we can help our kids to discover who they are and be part of that discovery for them and push them along the way, I think that's extremely important in our role. And that's one of the things I love about Rotary. My parents were really active in Rotary and Kiwanis Club, and just been honored to be part of it as well.
Gilda?
Beautiful. Both of you gentlemen did a fantastic job. Jennifer, this gave you kind of like a glimpse on what a craft talk looks like. So no competition really, but everybody's craft talk can be very unique. So this is one of my favorite programs. Both of you did fantastic. So a question for, first I'll start with Daryl. Daryl, you mentioned your father is Armenian. Armenia from what region?
So from Yerevan, the capital, and then my grandmother is actually during the time of the genocide was into Aleppo, into Syria, to where my great grandfather, Aryan Assyrian, was a pastor. And so if you know anything about with the Turks and the Armenians, with being first Christian nation to the Muslims at the time, he started an orphanage in Aleppo, and that orphanage is still there. And that's where many of the children learn to be tanners and work with shoes and become seamstresses and clothing. So passed down generation. And so my grandmother was part of a family of 12 and lost several of her siblings, including her mother. And so, but my grandmother's from Syria, and my grandfather's actually from Armenia. And then a lot of their family exiled into Lebanon, into Beirut. And then they were arranged marriage. And so my dad was born in Boston and on Arlington, Massachusetts, and then came out here when he was 7 and met my mom. And then they met my mom in high school. And my dad went to John Muir. Those of you that kind of know the history of the area, my dad went to John Muir High School. My mom went to PHS. They met at Woolworths in the freight elevator and in high school. And they were married almost 60 years before my mom passed a few years ago. High school sweethearts. So, and John Muir and Pasadena High School, them fighting words right there. That's like crosstown rivalry. That's no good. So hope that answered that question. Kind of a long answer to it.
No, that's awesome. We got a bigger story. So, and then do you speak Armenian yourself, Daryl?
Not anymore. When my grandparents passed, my dad does, but when my grandparents spoke to you in Armenian, you best answer back in Armenian. So we were like the kids holding onto my dad's coattail when we were around the grandparents. So I wish I did, but I don't.
Okay.
I don't even speak Mandarin or Taiwanese, and Monica's trying to teach me, and I can't get the tones I could be saying cheese and I could be saying something else, Tony. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what I would say. The tones, I don't know how they do it. I can't do it. So
Maybe your wife will pick up Armenian. It'll be her fifth language.
True.
Tony, for you, you mentioned the RC. Did I hear you correctly? RC cars? What is that?
Yeah.
What is
remote control cars. Remote control cars. Am I on mute? Yeah. Remote control cars, like, the radio control cars, the little toys, and you can get really into it, or you can rebuild them and stuff. I was basically trying to teach my son motor skills. My oldest son, I'm a sports guy, and I was on Little League board, coached teams, soccer, the whole 9 yards. He finally sat me down and said, "Dad, I don't like sports." Okay, you don't like sports. We got to figure out something you like. We got to find a passion, buddy. You got to find something that you really want to put your heart behind. And so right now, the past year and a half, maybe, just trying to develop those. He wants to build computers, so turning screwdrivers, developing motor skills, and working with tools in there. So we picked up RC cars and we build them and race them and launch them off jumps and break them and on purpose and rebuild them again, and just a good time, just to spend time together. You know what I mean? And bond. Trying to find his passion. Our kids are going on a journey, right? When they're growing up to as they're going, and all we do is just kind of guide them in the right direction on which way, they should go and which way they want to grow. And that's all that's about.
Thank you both. Clearly, both of you are dedicated to your families and encouraging and inspiring. Speaking of inspiring, Daryl, I grew up in Long Beach, and of course I know about Beaumont Shores and the waters there, and I had never thought about going paddling there. So you've inspired me to go there for paddling. I love it. Thank you.
You can borrow my paddle boards. It's cheaper to take mine than to go rent. You know how to swim and you have a life jacket, but definitely worth it.
Thank you, Gilda. Any other questions? I have a question for each of you. And first off, I just want to say you both did a great job, and it's really nice to get to know you two. I had no idea of either of you, but getting to know you two through these craft houses was amazing, and a lot of interesting facts. I'll start with Daryl. Daryl, we kind of touched on this with Molly's question. Is your Beetle? You said your parents paid $2,100. So what's the approximate worth now?
Priceless.
Yeah.
People ask me that, and it's hard to put a value on something that's sentimental to you and it belongs to your family. And I think for me, I don't know, I couldn't put a price on, because there's pieces of that car when we restored it that I left that remind me of my mom, because my mom took me everywhere in that car, raised me in that car. And so my mom used to wear these bracelets that had charms on it. And when I redid the car, I left the part of the molding. There's a crown, there's a chrome molding strip that goes around where the window rolls up. Remember back in the day when you go like this, roll the window up, you wouldn't press a button. It's called a scraper. Well, there's a chrome molding that goes around that. And I left the marks from my mom's bracelet. Those things you can't replace. Those things you can't. So I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, if you were to buy one with someone who was to restore it like a 68, it's not really a desirable year because it's more pre-67s, the most desirable ones. I'd probably estimate it, because a single family owner, the way it sits, maybe in the 20s, because of the paperwork that's with it. And there's all the parts that are with it, the original motors in there, it's matching numbers. So
I imagine it's something you're going to be passing down to your kids, right?
Yeah, a couple of my boys are really interested. They're already talking about it. Like, I'm still standing, guys. I'm still here. You don't need to, I'm still standing. Really? You're going to, they're more worried about the bus is what I think they're really what they want.
Got it. And then for Tony, the story about the cheese and the woman and the yacht and you getting to know the husband that way. Can you expand it? Is that how you got into the Mary Plumbing here in San Marino?
Yeah, basically that's how it went down. Jim Miller, who used to be in the seat, his best friend was the owner of multiple plumbing companies, and I worked for him. And so he he actually asked me, because of that cheese, he was looking for somebody that would actually think outside the box and was personal and personable. And he just said, "Hey, I want you to try this out." And if it hadn't been for that plate of cheese, literally, I wouldn't be sitting this. I'd still be making money for him on another company.
Got it. So you weren't an employee at this location or anything like that. It was just that whole kind of chance. Wow.
The person that owns this place owns 12 other plumbing companies and a new construction company, and I came from that new construction company. Yeah.
Got
That's
it.
that's all.
Right. Very interesting. Okay, any other questions? Okay, we'd like to thank Daryl and Tony for providing your craft talks to our club today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Molly, for being our MC as always. Our speakers for next week are Sean Diaz and Daisy Wilson, providing us with an update on Little League. And Rotarians and guests, we want to thank you for joining for today's meeting. Before we leave, Gilda, do you want to introduce your guest that popped in?
I sure do. Thank you. Joel, if you can turn on your camera, if you are able to. Awesome. This is Joel Kim. I met him 2 days ago at a live face-to-face networking event. Yay, they're opening up. It was with San Gabriel Chamber. He was there at a luncheon that we had over at the galley. And so Joel is a physical therapist. I have his card right here. And both Fred and I got the pleasure of meeting him on Tuesday. He walked in and he said, what's the Rotary Club to join? And of course, we all said, San Marino, of course. So he is actually shopping for a Rotary Club. He's also looking for a space in San Marino. I know we have a few people left on the call that are property owners here in San Marino. So he would be a good connection for us to connect with. I will make those connections. But Joel, pleasure to have you today. And hope that you will come back and get to know our group a little bit more.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Glad you got to hear our craft talks.
Yeah. Welcome, Joel. Thank you so much. And we hope you come back. You're welcome back anytime you want.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Rotarians, thank you for joining us for today's meeting. The June 10th, 2021 meeting of the Rotary Club San Marino is adjourned. Thank you all. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Great seeing you,
Bye,
Daryl.
Sean. Thank you. Welcome, Jennifer. Thank you. It's official. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, Gilda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
See you, Aaron.
Bye, Maurice. Thank you. All right.